Hello, welcome to the show. I'm Jacquelene Close-Moore and you're live on A1R Radio and Moonstruck TV right across the world. So yay, back to being online, and we've jumped the time zone leap. So this show is on at 8 p.m. US Eastern year-round, which makes it very interesting for me being a Melbourneite, because it goes from 10 a.m. from right through winter, which would be nicer if it was right through summer to be that, because you're like, oh, I'm totally up. And ready for this. And so, and then in about October, it becomes 5 p.m. in LA and 1 a.m. in London. Now they'd be getting up really early, in London. And I actually have someone in the UK that watches at times, and clearly an insomniac. Thank you for doing that. But yeah, so it's interesting going through October. It becomes 11 a.m. in Melbourne, and then it becomes 12 p.m. And it's like, let's do the time warp again, which I didn't sing in tune, but that's fine. So talking about time warps, today I'm going to cover a bit of what's happening astrologically, and also Friday the 13th, because we're right on that, and how could I not use the Sabian symbols right now, given last week's very interesting time in the US? Anyone? Last couple of weeks there has certainly been interesting. Certainly. Anyhow, Jupiter-Pluto conjunction, 22 Capricorn. It's the last of the Earth sign Jupiter-Pluto conjunctions for like 200 years. So we're dealing with massive changes of priorities, socially and culturally. I would hope so. So the Sabian symbol, 22 Capricorn. Sabian symbols, by the way. Dane Rudyard. Now, dude doesn't mention the lady clairvoyant that actually helped him do this. This is a book of those times. I'm going to have to do a show next week about her, I think, just to properly honour that. And I'll get out Linda Hill's fabulous Sabian symbol book. I can find it in storage. It's actually an important book, but it's over there. So it's the astrological mandala, the cycle of transformations, and its 360 symbolic phases. So we actually use that for interpretation. So if you're trying to find it, it's Dane Rudyard. It's an oldie but a goodie. I tend to have all the oldie goodie books, and a lot on Audible. Okay, so what we're going through right now is this Jupiter-Pluto conjunction, and I'll read this out for you. It takes a bit of decoding, so get ready for this. All right, so how this started was Dane Rudyard met with this clairvoyant, and they would sit in the car, and he would hold up a card, not a tarot card, but a card, and on the other side would be the writing of what degree and what sign. He'd hold it up, and she would get a vision, and this is how these symbols came about. So you get a clairvoyant vision of that symbol and what it meant. So 22 Capricorn, by accepting defeat gracefully, a general reveals nobility of character. How's that going for you right now? Court cases, anyone? Okay. So the realisation that one may grow through defeat as well, and perhaps more than success. So the realisation that one may grow through defeat as well, and perhaps more than through success. I wonder how that applies right now. Anybody? All right. So the preceding symbol is actually called a relay race. Funny about that. And that's about the value of competition in developing group consciousness. And it talks about how competition between groups and individuals who turn successfully in order to maximise a group effort and the possibility of outstanding results. The whole of civilization is in a vast kind of relay race in which groups of people and generations carry the torch that we call progress. Major achievements result from the sum total of human strivings. It talks about dynamic interchange. So while the preceding symbol referred to the drive towards success in culturally organised collective endeavours, this one presents the possibility of turning apparent external defeat into inner spiritual achievement. You have to have self-reflective skills to be able to do that, don't you? We have recently seen how totally vanquished nations, Germany and Japan, and this is written a long time ago, have leaped forward and achieved great economic success. I wonder what was happening in Germany and Japan around World War II. Anyway, Much depends on the quality of the will and inner integrity of the person. The second stage, we find what seems to be a paradox, but the spiritual life is always paradoxical. Yes, it is. The great sinner, biblical stuff, can become the most renowned saint. Yeah. And the medieval pope can become a criminal. We can have a discussion about that another day. It's a very long discussion I would have personally. What matters most is always inner strength. So this time for everyone is really a time of looking at inner strength, like what is harmony, what is peace, what is showboating and grandstanding, and what is the point of it? Mars is also going direct this week, so you're going to notice a shift of energy here. So if you've sort of been getting clonked by the energy and really feeling a lot of anxiety recently, I really wouldn't be surprised because defeat is yet to be accepted, I would say. Of course, if you're in between a crematorium and a sex shop, thinking you're at the Four Seasons, it might be something else altogether. Mars goes direct, 15 degrees Aries, an Indian weaving a ceremonial blanket. So we've got a lot of Native American ladies now suddenly in the Congress, technical terms of which I do not know because I am not actually American. So this symbol is about projecting into the everyday realization of the whole and fulfillment. So this is actually talking about, all right, so I'll go into it. In Christian tradition, one hears of Jesus' seamless robe. In Asia, one is told of the spiritual vesture of the perfect ones, and figuratively robed in the universe, or more precisely the Milky Way, the great robe of interwoven stars. So ultimately kind of weaving. We talk about Penelope weaving, if you've ever sort of seen of that, Penelope wheel, weaving, waiting for the return of a polarizing mate. So this is a kind of time when Mars is going direct where you may find a lot of stuff going on with relationships, if you can move forward in that. Certainly a more sense of freedom. Fulfillment and desire is also a theme in that. And also here we are, of course, in Australia, we're on Friday the 13th. So tomorrow for America, it's going to be Friday the 13th. But when we look at 13, well, in 2020, we've had 13 moons. Yep. And in 2019, we had 12. And in 2021, we're going to have 12 moons as well. So when we look at 12, we look in completeness. So you've got the 12 days of Christmas, the 12 months of the year, 12 zodiac signs, 12 gods of Olympus, the 12 labours of Hercules. Go Hercules. So 13, look at 13 and people go, "Whoa, Friday the 13th. I actually quit one time. My last ever corporate job, I actually made my last day Friday the 13th. And everyone suddenly found out I was a hippie psychic chick in a corporate office as a member of the board of management. Whoa. Yeah. And they go, "Oh my God, does you leaving on Friday the 13th mean really bad luck for anyone like me?" I'm like, "Is it bad luck?" And I said, "Not for me, it isn't." And it's probably a bit cruel of me. Oh, look, my humour's a bit dark, a bit like this card. So 13, the death card. Okay, so let's not get all upset about that yet. Death means many things. I mean, look at that skeleton on the horse. You're going to love that guy. Hi, Hades. So when we're looking at death, death can actually mean transformation, yeah? It can actually mean really good stuff. And frankly, if you've had a crap year, anyone, frankly, the death card can be like, thank Lordy, it's over. Like thanking Lordy, there might be tapes. Not the kind that some people might like. Moscow, anyone. So this card, endings. It's that sense of final relief. It's resting. It's going, oh, finally let this go. Yay for that. And 13-day of birth people, quite often, they just don't let go. It's like, I've got to make that work. And they'll put everything into it. It's like, oh, why is this not working? I managed to pull the magic rabbit out of the hat before. No, Dorothy, you were on LSD. So, the 13, it sort of has that kind of energy of the letting go, or the challenge of letting go. And I think I know someone in America having trouble with that right now. And it's that being able to then say, all right, I can actually heal that now. I can go, all right, well, there was all that drama. Here it is. And in the 12 card, so we sort of look at the 12 card, got the hangman, yeah? The hangman's, he's going to just hang in there going, oh, it looks a bit too confronting. I might just stay here and not make a choice. Did you know that making the choice not to make a choice is still actually a choice? Go for that one. So when we're looking at the hangman card, you actually see Jupiter in those legs. Sexy legs, aren't they? Who wants an outfit like that? I don't. Although I do have leggings that look a little bit like that. But it's kind of a backwards Jupiter. And so quite often you sort of see the card and the dude's got one leg hanging. Now, the thing about the hangman, he's not going to die there unless he stays there for far too long and doesn't eat anything. If he's got really strong abs, he can lift himself up and undo that, yeah, and get free. It's not like he's hanging from his neck. So the hangman's not about literally hanging, although he can be left hanging, there can be sacrifice, but it is about that sort of sense of, oh, I can't make up my mind which way to go. But the death card, so there's 12, we're talking about 12, 13, Friday the 13th, not maybe as unlucky as you think. I mean, if you're Italian, chances are you'll love 13, although not all Italians. But, you know, it doesn't have to be a bad thing. Things that have a superstition are only as bad as you put into it. And the same with curses. If someone's sort of going, it's only as bad as you put into it. You keep putting fear into it, it's going to get worse. 13 can actually be a good number, not a bad one, but it's what you do with it that matters. So how do you deal with endings? How do you deal with things not seeming to go your way? That's the thing to think about. I'll be live on my Facebook page, Jacquelene Closmore Live. I'm going to do readings there, answer questions. Stay on A1R and Moonstruck TV for other people joining us, or you can come over with me and I'll catch you next week on A1R. Bye-bye.